Good morning, everyone. So, I don't know how to say. Estoy muy feliz de estar aquí con vosotros. I don't know if I pronounce well Portuguese, but I try. My Spanish is better, sorry. So, as you can notice, I'm French. So, I am leading Southern Europe for Delinea today. So, I am managing the development of different countries. So, Spain, Portugal, France, Italy, Israel, and Mediterranean countries. So, I want first to thank you really for the invitation and giving me the opportunity today to present you who we are and what are the different trends we can see on the markets today. So thank you, Oasis, for the invitation and Expresso. So do you know Delinea or not? Who knows Delinea? Just raise your hand, just for me. Okay. Oh, good. I'm impressed. So. Just quick information regarding the company. So we are in what we call the PAM market for about 28 years now. So we are a US company. The first mission of the company was really to do consulting into identity in the US, and we grow in the past. So in 2021, in the beginning of the year, two companies were merged to create a giant in PAM. So first, Tacotic in one side. So Tacotic was really focused on account management and session management. And Centrify on the other side, that was really specialized into privilege elevation and zero trust. So we took the best of each company to create really a giant into PAM. Okay. So we are a leader today in different quadrants. So as you can see here, so we are in the top 5 of the Magic Quadrant of different analysts today. But what is the most important for me, it's in my opinion, to get the feedback from the customers. So I encourage you really to have a look on what is doing Peer Insights today, Gartner Peer Insights, because only customers are posting their comments into the different companies and so on. So, what is our vision? Our vision is really simple. It's really to create a zero trust approach for the enterprise. So we are building a specific identity framework based on 3 different pillars. So the first pillar is to discover and to prevent against credential theft. So this is really the basis and the foundation of our activity today. The second one is really to manage privilege elevation and avoid any lateral movement into the organization with ransomware or zero trust and also different threats. So the third pillar is to monitor and to analyze what is happening with identity into all the organizations. So we are managing different things. We are managing human identities, and we are managing non-human identities. So it means, for instance, we are detecting specific workload, and so on into the organization. Sorry. So the purpose for us is really to protect your digital business and your digital transformation today. 98% of the people in the IDSS survey said that they reported an increase of identities into the organization due also to the increase of digital transformation and the adoption of cloud in general. And 84% of these people, those folks, said they're experiencing a breach into the organization due specifically to this trend. So what happens today? Before, it was really easy to manage identity into the organization. The scope of identities was really small. In general, identities were located really into the data center. There was into the servers, and you have few people, IT admins in general, that were that used to manage identities. But since the pandemic, we have seen a huge evolution today and an explosion of the identities into the network and the organization. So why? It's because remote work was really a standard. You know, people were obliged during the pandemic to connect, third party were obliged to connect to the organization. and we need to manage different things and different aspects. On top of that, we have the proliferation of the identities into all the organizations due to the adoption of digital also. So it means it created a specific world in which one identities was not completely secure. So what we need to do today, and this is really our mission, is to secure all the areas of the enterprise. Why? Because if we don't do that, we will have specific areas in which one we can create a breach for sure, and we can have a lateral movement and a ransomware or 0 day. So this is why it is very important. As I mentioned before, what we have before, a few years ago, it was what we call PAM, so standard PAM. But today, with the explosion of identities, we are talking about the extended PAM. So some of you can talk about modern PAM, but we are talking about extended PAM because it's touching all the organization. So this is where we are today. So I try to put my feet into your shoes, and this slide is summarizing what is your life globally. So I know it's not easy, and sometimes when I see this slide, I don't want to jump into your job because you have so many topics to manage, and really it's not easy. What I would like to highlight is just to pick up some of the points here and to give you the different trends we can notice on the markets today. So one of the trends we can notice, and you already mentioned it just before, is ransomware. So in 2022, the ransomware attack has decreased globally into the different organizations. Last year, it was not the case. Last year, we had again an explosion in terms of ransomware into the organization. So it's still in top of mind of the CSOs, the CTOs, and so on. So, but we had an evolution. So today, money grab, it's not the first target the attackers are really focusing on. They are more focusing on the description of your activity, for instance, and this is something that can create a lot of damage. I will give you an example, but I had a customer I was discussing with just yesterday. He explaining that ransomware stopped all the activities of the company. There are 30,000 people in the companies, and they are doing transportation. No truck, no lorries was on the road during more than 2 weeks. So they had a huge damage in terms of finance, for sure, and a huge damage in terms of reputation. And something that can be more important, but I don't know if you remember, but last year we announced that somebody died in an hospital due to a cyber attack. So it can be more important than only just a description in terms of activities. So what they want to do is really to create a chaos today, to stop the activity, etc. So there is a change in the behavior of the attackers, and really they are more professional, and they want to stay more hidden and specific on specific targets. So you mentioned just before that Portugal is the third country in Europe that is attacked today. So they are targeting new countries because they think it's more easy perhaps to attack them, and they are putting another focus. So it's a focus on companies, it's a focus on different countries. On top of that, you have the trend of the different vulnerabilities that are top of mind today. So there is a decrease on the messagery side, on the email. Why? Because the customer puts a lot of effort to secure this specific area and the messagery. And now the attackers are more focusing on specific topics like the move to cloud. Why? Because it's a dynamic today into the organization. We are adopting more and more cloud technologies. They are doing the same on the endpoint side, on the applications, and also into privileged access. So the good things today is that 91% of the organization have the budget to fight against ransomware. It's a good point. The bad point is that in general you get the budget once you have a breach, so it's not good. So this is something to change for sure. And 80% of the victims today are agreeing to pay. So this is what we can notice. So where to invest today really to prevent against ransomware. So this is a study we made last year really to see the evolution into the market and with customer. So the survey was done with small customer, mid-sized customer, and large customer. And what we can see today is that the ransomware and the investment to fight against ransomware are more focusing on the cloud security part, on the endpoint security also, and privilege and access management side also. So it means today we have a change into the market adoption of the different solutions because we need to focus more on the endpoint. We need to protect the applications. So the application on the servers, the application on the endpoints, the application on the cloud. I will give you an example, but regarding the application on the laptop, few weeks ago, I tried to install an application into my laptop. Okay, it was just an application to connect my tablet to take notes. And when I tried to install the software, I got a pop-up appearing on the screen, and it said, "No, Yves, I'm really sorry, but you cannot install this application. It's not part of your policy today. So please justify." And I justify. I just wrote something to explain why I would like to install it. And the company gave me the possibility to access to this application. So this is really something that is changing today. Why? It's because, I don't know if you remember, but Microsoft said that if you remove the admin rights into the workstation on the laptops, you can avoid 96% of the reach into the Microsoft software. So this is where we are today. On top of that, what we can see globally in the market is that the customers are adopting new technology to prevent against these specific threats. We are doing more just-in-time, just-enough privilege use. If you want, for instance, to prevent somebody and to give a specific access to somebody to change the configuration of the system into your network, you can give an access only for a specific task, on a specific device, and for a specific amount of time. And once the task is done, you can remove the rights to the people. So it allows you really to control and to have a better granularity in terms of control into your workstation, your servers, and all the devices into your network. On top of that, we can use MFA really to increase the posture in terms of cybersecurity, to increase the posture in terms of zero trust, because the combination of just-in-time, just-enough privilege, and MFA, we really avoid any lateral movement in the organization for ransomware on 0 days. On top of that, what we need to do is to secure more the cloud. So at Delinea, we bought a company to do what we call ITDR. So ITDR, it's Identity Threat Detection and Response. And this is a solution that will really detect what is happening today on all your systems in a multi-cloud environment. It will be the same thing for what we call PIM. So it's not CIEM. We don't make the confusion. We are not talking about SOC here. But KIM, for instance, will help you to manage all the life cycle of privileged accounts and least privilege into multi-cloud environments. So this is the next trend we can see today, really to secure all your environment. We talked about artificial intelligence just before. It's an important point today that really is developing a lot. Hackers are using new technologies, artificial intelligence, machine learning, to improve their attacks, to accelerate the attack, to optimize the attacks, etc. And on our side, we are doing the same thing. And there are different things we can do with artificial intelligence and machine learning. For instance, with machine learning, we can detect specific behavior into your SI. If you have somebody that wants to connect in a specific target from a laptop he's not using usually, during a specific time frame, you can detect it. So it means you can understand what are the malicious actions you can have today into your network and automate the analysis of the actions. And then you can report it and remediate any issues. We are using artificial intelligence to accelerate the fight, I will say it again, the attackers. How we can do that? For instance, for scripting to develop the software and so on, we are using what we call a Delinea GPT, for instance. It helps us to be 7 times more faster than other competitors in terms of development. But this is something that the hackers will use too. we can really analyze a huge amount of data set into the organization and to get the full visibility of what can happen. On top of that, today, what is more and more used is quantum technologies. So quantum helps the hackers today really to decrypt, to decrypt the encryption. And this is really a pain. If you have a look on the AES 126, for instance, we know that today with quantum technology, we can decrypt this key. Okay? It's not the case for the 256, but this is the case for this one. On top of that, we will use more and more intelligence, artificial intelligence, really to enforce the regulation, to enforce reporting, to enforce detection of attacks and so on. So, another one that is interesting, we talked about just before, but it's cyber insurance. This is something that is really developing today. And there is not a big balance into all the organization in terms of cyber insurance. I wrote a report from an organization called AMRAE, for instance, that said in the market today, in general, the largest customer, the largest account, have all cybersecurity contract. For the smallest one, and globally, the average, it's 84% of adoption of cybersecurity contracts for the biggest companies. For the smallest one, it's 0.2%. So we have a big progress to do on that specific point. What is required in general into cyber insurance is to have three bases, so three foundations. First one is to secure the security perimeter of your network and your side, with firewall, for instance. The other pillar consists in securing the workstation with an antivirus. On top of that, what is required today is to use a PAM solution, really to extend the capabilities and really to have a better coverage. Why? Because you need to cover the financial risk, for sure. So having both solutions here can help you really to improve your posture in terms of cyber assurance and get a better premium. Regarding PAM, what is required, for instance, is to get the capability to make what we call account discovery. It's to launch automatically a search into your organization to really to collect all the identities, secure the identities into a secure vault today, an encrypted vault, doing password rotation, password automation, so really automate everything, making auditing, reporting, session recording. And this is something we can improve with artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence can detect what happened in session recording, so you don't need to have somebody specifically to manage that, but a machine can do that very, very fast. And the last one is least privilege. So really elevating the privilege of the different users into the organization to improve your cybersecurity posture. So, and 4.45 millions, do you know what is this number? It's quite easy to discover. This is the average cost of a breach into an organization. So it's coming from IBM. They made an analysis yesterday just to understand what is really the cost of a breach. And the evolution in terms of cost is 50% in comparison to the previous year. So this is very important. So we have built with the customer a specific model today to address the different concerns I just described before. This is what we call the PAM maturity model. And the PAM maturity model, it's not a big bang, in fact. Some of our customers would like to implement all the use cases to put a PAM solution, an extended PAM solution in place today, but it's not a big bang. You need really to go step by step. I just described the first step. It was what we call the foundational step. It's really to put the basis in place and really to manage all the identities. The second one, what we call the enhanced phase, is really to improve your posture in terms of privilege access, privilege elevation. This is where you will be able really to fight against ransomware, increase your posture in terms of cybersecurity and zero trust, using just-in-time, just-enough privilege, and MFA. So, and we were talking about trust, so trust is managed really on this part. The last phase of the approach is really to get a full visibility on what happened into your systems, all your networks, so on-prem or into multi-cloud environments. It will give you all the visibility. You will use artificial intelligence in this area. You will analyze the behaviors on your networks and everything that can happen. And we will be able really to manage all the life cycle of your identities. This is something we are proposing today on-prem for sure, but we are posting all the functionalities and the feature into what we call a platform. And we really notice in the market a huge adoption of SaaS solution, specifically now since 2-3 years. 3 years ago, for instance, into my region, 80% of the business was done really in on-prem solution, but today it's totally the contrary. 80% of what we are selling is in SaaS. And it's coming really from our customer. So this is something that is really changing. Why? It's because people in the organization don't have enough resources really to manage everything, to manage all the issues, the topics, and so on. They want a simple solution to implement, very easy to manage, making managed by a company. So this is why we have this change again in the organization. And this is part of the trends I presented. So it's the last one. Obrigado para sua attention. I'm very happy to share the details if you want. Don't hesitate to come back to me. I will remain at your disposal, really to enter into the details if you want. Thank you very much for your attention.